Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel once again. Today's tutorial is going to focus on how to make this cowl kaftan. You are seeing the picture on the screen. So to begin this tutorial we have already made my border line in here for my cowl kaftan. So we are going to draft our cowl kaftan right here, and I'll be explaining to you how you go about it, okay? So this is my shoulder line, okay? This line you are seeing in here is for my shoulder, and that is where all vertical measurements are going to be taken from. I'll be making use of this edge to serve as my center front, and as for the center front is going to be on fold. So after we are done drafting this kaftan, we'll be placing this pattern on top of our fabric, and we will be cutting this part on fold. Please take note, we are going to fold our fabric and this part will be on the unfold, which is the center front. I also want you to take note that I'm drafting both the back and front pattern together. What does that mean? It means I'll be folding my back and my front kaftan using this same pattern, okay? So we don't have a front, we don't have back. This same pattern is going to be used to cut your kaftan. All right, so there are some basic measurements you need for this cowl kaftan. You need to take your tape around your shoulder. That is your shoulder measurement, your round shoulder measurement. Placing your tape on the shoulder all around, exactly at where you want the kaftan to drop, okay? All right, so whatever thing you have in here, we'll be making use of that measurement. We'll also be making use of the measurement of your round armhole. We are also going to make use of our knee, above the knee measurement, our hip measurement, and the full length of this kaftan. So for this particular kaftan right now, I'm going to start all my measurements starting from the shoulder. And the first measurement we are going to take, vertical measurement we are taking in here, is our armhole measurement. The circumference of your armhole divided by 2. So in here I have 16 inches as the circumference of the armhole, and I'm dividing it by 2. So 16 divided by 2, I have 8 inches. So 8 inches is going to be the first vertical measurement I'm going to take. So this is 8 inches here, and this is my armhole measurement, my round armhole measurement. I'm dividing it by 2. That is what I have from the shoulder to this line. The next measurement I want to take right now is my hip measurement. That is from the neckline, that is from the shoulder. You'll be keeping your tape on the shoulder and drop it on your hip. Whatever thing you get in here, that is the next vertical measurement I'm going to take. So right here, I have 29 inches as the hip measurement, and that is the next line I have in here, okay? So I'll quickly make my vertical line. So this vertical line here is a hip height, the height of your hip from the shoulder, okay? So the next measurement I want to take right now is above my knee measurement, okay? So above the knee measurement from the shoulder, still taking off my knee, okay? So this is my knee measurement at 41, and I'll count 1 2 3 4 and take the measurement of my above the knee. So once that is done, I'll also rule my vertical line, and this is my above knee measurement, okay? Above my knee measurement with 4 inches. So now this is my full length, okay? So I'm making use of a full length of 58. Okay, so you have to put your tape on your shoulder and take the measurement of the full length of your kaftan. So right now we are done with the vertical measurements. As you can see how we took all of them. So the next thing we want to start off with now is the horizontal measurement. So for the horizontal measurement, the first measurement we are going to take is going to be the shoulder measurement. The full shoulder measurement is 16 inches. Because we are going to have some gathers on top of that kaftan, that's on the neckline, I'll be making use of the full shoulder measurement of 16 inches. Placing my tape on the center front right now, I'm going to measure 16 inches, as you can see. Okay, we are not dividing our shoulder by 2 like we do in other shoulder measurements when drafting. We are using the whole 16 inches because we are going to gather around our neckline. I believe you understand that. Okay, so next we are going to take the measurement of our sleeve. From this point, I'm going to take the measurement of the sleeve, the length of the sleeve, and the length of the sleeve, I'm going to make use of 12 inches for it. You can also make use of 10 inches. It all depends on what you actually want for this kaftan. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I'll be making use of 12 inches as the length of my sleeve. Okay, so from here to here, I have the length of my sleeve, 12 inches as the length of the sleeve length. Okay, and from this center front line to this point is the 16 inches of your full shoulder measurement. So once that is done, I'm going to connect what I have in here to this armhole line. Okay, so I'll just put a curve to it. Okay, I can just freehand it, can you see, to match up with what I have on this line. Can you see what I just did? So all this part right now, we are going to gather everything into what we are doing for the neckline. So once that is done, I have this right now, and that is where we are going to cut off our neckline kaftan before we fix our band to it. So once that is done, the next thing we are going to do, I'm going to extend this line all the way from the shoulder down to the hem, the full length. So I'm going to extend this line. What that means that whatever thing I have, 16 plus 12, I'll put them together. That is 28 inches. I'm going to measure 28 inches all through on these lines. Okay, so on this line 28 inches, on the shoulder 28, on the hip line 28, so I can be able to have a straight line running all the way to the full length. All right people, so now I've ruled the line from the shoulder at 28 inches all through the line. Okay, so now I want to extend what I have on these lines. I'm extending all the vertical lines to touch the line I made from the shoulder to the hem. So once that is done, the next thing I want to do is to slope. I'm going to slope from the neckline to my shoulder to the sleeve. Okay, so I will just come down from here, from the sleeve length by the shoulder line by 2 inches, and once that is done, I'm going to slope from the neckline to the sleeve. Okay, so as I've done that, now I want to open up the sleeve. That is the sleeve opening before the cowl part. So from the sleeve opening, I'm making use of my sleeve measurement, where my sleeve is going to be. So for my sleeve measurement, my sleeve will be somehow around here where I have this sleeve already. So I'll just take around it, but not too tight. I'll just have it, okay, like 13 inches. Okay, because I need it a little free, not too tight. Okay, you can also make it 12, but 13 is okay. Just give a little ease to it. So these 13 inches I have here, I'm going to divide 13 inches by 2. So 13 inches divided by 2. Here I have 6.5. Okay, so at 6.5, I'm going to make a mark from the shoulder drop. Please take note, from the shoulder drop, I'm going to make a mark of my sleeve opening at 6.5. Okay, so that is the opening of the sleeve. Okay, So when I'm going to stitch right now, I'm not going to stitch on this opening of the sleeve. I'll start stitching all the way from this point. Okay, that is where I'm going to open my sleeve. Okay, and that is where the arm is going to pass. So I'm going to pass my arm from here to here after stitching. So the next thing I want to do is to take the measurement of what I have on my hip. So my round hip from the center front, remember this is the center front we are working with, taking my tape around my hip, divide by 4 because we are working on a quarter of the bodies. So my hip divide by 4, I have 11.5 inches, and I'm going to add half an inch, making it 12 inch, okay, for ease. So whatever thing I got here, 12 inches, I'm going to take the 12 inches all the way to the hem. Okay, so I have my 12 inches right here on the hem, and I'm going to connect what I have in here from the hip. I'm going to take it all the way to the hem like this. Can you see that? All right, okay, so now I've done that. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to find the midpoint of the above the knee measurement and the hip measurement. So from this point I have 9 inches and the midpoint falls at 8.5. So I'm going to connect what I have in here right now, starting all the way from this point. Okay, so I'm going to form the cowl from this point like this, like that. Can you see? So right here I formed the cowl. You can see the cowl dropping. Okay, all right people, so you can see from the hip height and above the knee I found the midpoint, and I have to connect the cowl. Okay, so this is the cowl line all the way to this point. Okay, so this is the part that is going to drop. So now I'm done with this kaftan, as you can see. So I'm going to cut it out to show you the full view before we cut out the band for the round neck. Okay, so I'll be cutting this and I'll show you the final outlook, then we cut the band. I'm going to cut through the neckline. Remember this neckline part, once it's cut on our fabric, we are going to gather all the way to this point. Can you see? So we are going to gather. Okay, so from this point, once it's cut on the fabric, these are the gathers that we are going to have, and this is going to be gathered into the band we are going to create right now. Okay, so now I'm going to cut through the shoulder slant. This is the 2 inches shoulder slant. I'm going to cut through that point, as you can see, and then I'm going to cut through the extension of the line. Can you see that? Okay, I believe you are seeing what I'm doing. So once I get here, I'm just going to curve it into this like this. Okay, please don't leave a sharp point to it. Okay, you can see how I cut just to create the cowl. Okay, so that is the cowl. Okay, and then from the full length, I'll cut on this full length line like this, like that. Okay, then I'll blend it like this. Can you see that? All right, so this is what we have right now for our kaftan, and I'll be showing you the full view of it right now. All right, beautiful people, so right now this is the full view of your cowl kaftan. So you can see the neckline part. That is the part that will be gathered into the band we are about to make right now. So make sure you have your cowl kaftan in this form. Okay, so we are going to create the band, people. So right now we need to form the band. Okay, we are going to create that band at which we are going to gather this whole neckline into. Okay, so I'll be using this pattern paper to show you how the band is being created. So the band is being created by the round shoulder measurement. So the round shoulder measurement, I'm taking in here, taking the tape around your shoulder where you need this kaftan, and working with 41 inches. So I'm going to divide this 41 inches by 2. So 41 divided by 2, I have 20.5 inches. So I'll measure 20.5 inches, and of course I have exactly 20.5 inches here. Okay, that is the length of my kaftan for the band for one side, that is the back or the front. Of course I'll cut both the back and the front band on this immediately. So the width of this band is going to be 4 inches. Okay, so I'm making use of 4 inches width for this band. You can also make it 4.5. It depends on how you want your band to be. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm making use of 4 inches for my band. So right now, I'm going to cut out the excess paper I have in here for the width of this band. So this is going to be my band on the neckline. Okay, so I'll just cut. All right, so now this is the band, and now I'm going to choose which part is going to be up and which part is going to be down. Okay, so for the part I'm going to use for my up, I'm using this part as the up, and this is the down part I'm going to stitch on the gathered part. So I'm stitching this part on the gathered part. So right now, on the edges of these bands, I'm going to come in by 0.5 inch. Why am I doing this? To smoothing out the neck, the shoulder part, because the human shoulder is not as straight as this. So once this is put on the shoulder, the nip of the shoulder, definitely you need this excess to go out. So I'm going to blend in this, as you can see, and I'm going to blend in this too. I'm blending it all the way to this part. Okay, so I'm going to cut off the sharp excess. So I'm cutting off this, okay, and blend it into the cape like this. All right, so this is what you expected to have for this particular kaftan. So now this is the upper piece of this, okay, and I'm going to place this upper piece on fold. When I'm going to cut it on my fabric, if you are cutting on your fabric, make sure this part is on fold. Okay, this part is going to be on fold. Using this fabric right now to demonstrate to you how this particular band will be cut. So I'm using a stretchy fabric, but not too stretchy, okay, moderately stretched, and that is why I'm not going to add any seam allowance on the sides. Okay, since it's stretchy and it needs to hug that shoulder part, I'm going to leave and cut it like this. The only part I'm going to add my seam allowance right now is only on the lower piece that will be attached to the gathered part. Okay, so right now I'm placing my fabric on fold, as I earlier said, and I'm going to place my pattern like this. Like I said, I'm not adding any seam allowances. The only part I'm going to add my seam allowance is right here. So I'll quickly cut it and show you. You can see I'm done cutting the pattern. This is exactly how you are expected to cut this pattern. There's no seam allowance added to it because the fabric is stretchy. So this is the actual round shoulder. Taking your tape around the your shoulder, divide by 2. That is what I have as the length in here, and the width is 4 inches. I added 0.5 to stitch this to the neckline. So this part is going to be stitched. Once this is gathered, the neckline will be gathered, and this will be stitched to it like this. All right, so now on the pattern, I have this unfold. This part is unfold, as you can see the fold sign. So, and I have two of it, 1 and 2, one for the back and one for the front. So I'll quickly merge these two together at this point. I'm going to merge them together. That is how you are going to sew the cape. So I'll merge it together, as you can see me pinning it right now. So I'll quickly go to my machine to run my stitches right here, and I'll also merge these two together like this, so they will become one. Okay, so this is what you're expected to have at this point. So I'll just pin and stitch exactly at 0.5. Okay, so I'll have it. So let me quickly see the band right now. I've stitched all the way, as you can see. You can see my stitches on both sides. So I'm going to turn it to the right side. So this part that goes in is the part we chopped off at 0.5 inch to relax the shoulder part. Okay, so this is what you're expected to have right now. Can you see? So this part is going to be all around the shoulder part. Okay, so once you cut your pattern, you are going to keep this on fold. Remember, the center front is going to be on fold, and we cut this for both the front and for the back, all on fold. So once the neckline, you join all of them. After cutting, you are going to join from this point. Remember, this is the sleeve opening. Once you sew and close up the shoulder line, that is by the sleeve line. Once you sew at 0.5 inch, after adding your 0.5 seam allowances, you start your stitching from here, and you are going to sew like this after adding your seam allowances all the way till you get to the hem, making the back and the front as one piece. So once that is done, this is the neckline. You are going to sew your gathers all around, both for the front and for the back. Okay, so this is half of this right now. That is to say, I'm going to gather everything into this. So once you open it, you can see everything will be gathered like this to form that cowl kaftan. Okay, so this is how we come to the end of this tutorial. I believe you enjoyed this tutorial. So if you love this content, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive these videos like this each week. Like and share. Drop your questions and your comments and your suggestions on the description box below. Thank you very much for coming to this tutorial once again. See you in the next video. Bye.